The vast emptiness of space was suddenly alive with activity. The Zorthian science vessel, Quantum Seeker, hummed with excitement. Its sleek, silver hull reflected the distant stars as it approached the third planet of an unremarkable yellow star. Captain Silena stood on the bridge, her 4 eyes fixed on the view screen. Her antennae twitched with anticipation. "Status report," she demanded, her voice a melodious chirp. "Energy signatures confirmed, Captain," replied Science Officer Vex. His tentacles danced over the control panel. "They're unlike anything in our database. Primitive, yet complex." Silena's mandibles clicked thoughtfully. The Zorthian collective had explored thousands of worlds, but never had they encountered such puzzling readings. This backwater planet, barely visible from their home system, shouldn't have been capable of producing such energy. "Engage cloaking shields," Silena ordered. "Prepare for atmospheric entry." The Quantum Seeker shimmered, becoming invisible to any watching eyes. It glided silently through the planet's atmosphere, descending towards a sprawling metropolis below. Vex gasped, a sound like rustling leaves. "Captain, I'm detecting advanced structures, vehicles, and billions of life forms." Silena's exoskeleton paled. "Impossible. Our long-range scans showed no signs of civilization. How could we have missed this?" The ship hovered over a busy city center. The crew watched in awe as strange bipedal creatures scurried about. They manipulated devices, communicated wirelessly, and operated machines that defied Zorthian understanding. "These can't be simple animals," Silena muttered. "They're intelligent." For days, the Quantum Seeker observed. They witnessed technological marvels, flying machines that shouldn't work, energy production beyond their comprehension, and information networks that spanned the globe. But it was the creatures themselves that fascinated the Zorthians most. They came in all shapes, sizes, and colors. They laughed, fought, loved, and created with a passion the logical Zorthians struggled to understand. "I want samples," Silena declared. "We need to study their biology." Under cover of night, the ship's tractor beam carefully extracted sleeping humans from their homes. Vex worked tirelessly, analyzing their DNA. As dawn broke, Vex burst onto the bridge. "Captain, you won't believe this." Silena turned, startled by the scientist's uncharacteristic excitement. "What is it, Vex?" "Their DNA. It's extraordinary." Vex's tentacles trembled. "It contains sequences I've never seen before. Some appear dormant, but others. Captain, these creatures have the potential for abilities far beyond their current state." Silena leaned in, her compound eyes widening. "Explain." "There are markers for enhanced regeneration, extreme longevity, even psychic abilities." Vex's voice rose an octave. "But that's not all. Some of these sequences, they're not natural." A heavy silence fell over the bridge. Silena's antennae drooped as she processed the implications. "Are you saying?" Vex nodded solemnly. "Yes, Captain. These creatures, these humans, as they call themselves, they were engineered, and by a civilization far more advanced than our own." The crew exchanged nervous glances. Their mission had just become far more complicated than they could have imagined. Silena paced the bridge, her mind racing. "We need to report this to the collective immediately. But first, we must learn more. These humans, they could be the greatest discovery in Zorthian history, or the greatest threat we've ever faced." As the sun rose over the unsuspecting city, the Quantum Seeker remained hidden, its crew watching and waiting. They had come seeking primitive life forms. Instead, they had stumbled upon a mystery that could shake the foundations of the galaxy. The humans below went about their day, unaware of the alien eyes upon them, unaware of the ancient secrets locked within their very cells, unaware that their world stood on the brink of a cosmic revelation that would change everything. For now, Earth slept. But soon, very soon, it would awaken to its true potential. and the universe would never be the same. The quantum seeker hung silently above Earth, its cloaking shields hiding it from human eyes. Inside, the Zorthian crew buzzed with activity. Their mission had taken an unexpected turn, and now they faced the biggest challenge of their careers. Science Officer Vex hunched over his workstation, his tentacles flying across holographic displays. He hadn't slept in days, too excited by the mysteries of human DNA. "Fascinating," he muttered. "Simply fascinating." Captain Silna entered the lab, her antennae twitching with curiosity. "Any new discoveries?" "Vex." The scientist spun around, his eyes glowing with excitement. "Oh, Captain, you won't believe what I found." He pulled up a 3D model of the human genome. Strange, glowing sections pulsed within the twisting strands of DNA. "See these sections?" Vex pointed with a tentacle. "They're unlike anything in our genetic database. Some are dormant, but others, they're just waiting to be activated." Silna leaned in, her compound eyes reflecting the hologram. "Activated? What do you mean?" Vex's voice trembled with excitement. "These humans have the potential for incredible abilities. Rapid healing, extended lifespans, even manipulation of energy fields. But there's more." He zoomed in on a particular section of DNA. "This part here, it's not natural. It's been engineered, Captain, and the technology behind it is far beyond our own." Zilna's exoskeleton paled. "Are you saying some other alien race created these humans?" "It's possible." Vex nodded. "Or perhaps they were uplifted by a more advanced species. Either way, these humans are far more than they appear." The captain paced the lab, her mind racing. "We need to learn more. Set up observation posts around the planet. I want to know everything about these humans." Over the next few weeks, the Zorthians watched humanity closely. They saw acts of incredible kindness and horrific violence. They witnessed technological leaps and artistic beauty. The complexity of human society both fascinated and confused them. In the ship's meeting room, the crew gathered to discuss their findings. "They're savages," exclaimed Security Chief Kraz, slamming his claw on the table. "Did you see their wars? Their weapons? They're a danger to themselves and others. But look at their potential for good," argued Medical Officer Zine. "Their ability to love, to create, to heal. It's remarkable." Vex cleared his throat. "There's something else you should see." He played a video on the main screen. It showed a human child lifting a heavy object off an injured adult. For a split second, the child's eyes glowed with an otherworldly light. What was that? Exilna leaned forward, her antennae quivering. "Evidence of their hidden abilities," Vex explained. "It's rare, but some humans are beginning to tap into their true potential. If they all awakened." The room fell silent as the implications sank in. "We can't let that happen," Kraz growled. "They're too dangerous. We should eliminate them now, while we have the chance." "No," Zine protested. "That would be genocide. We can't destroy an entire species because we're afraid of what they might become." Sahilna raised her appendages for silence. "We will do no such thing. Our mission is to observe and report, not to judge or interfere." She turned to Vex. "Continue your research. I want to know everything about these humans. Their strengths, their weaknesses, and especially the source of their engineered DNA." As the meeting adjourned, Sahilna stared out the viewport at the blue planet below. Earth spun peacefully, unaware of the alien eyes watching it, or the debate that had just taken place. "What are you?" she whispered. "And what will you become?" Little did she know, events were already in motion that would force the Zorthians out of hiding. The humans were about to discover they weren't alone in the universe, and the galaxy would never be the same again. The sun rose over Earth, its rays glinting off the invisible hull of the quantum seeker. For weeks, the Zorthian ship had watched humanity unnoticed. But today, everything would change. Captain Silena stood on the bridge, her 4 eyes scanning the busy city below. "Status report," she chirped. "All systems normal, "Captain," replied Navigator Zix, cloaking shields at full power. Suddenly, alarms blared. The ship shuddered violently. "What's happening?" Axilna demanded, her antennae quivering. Science Officer Vex's tentacles flew over his console. "Massive solar flare. Captain, it's interfering with our systems." The view screen flickered, showing a giant burst of energy racing from the sun towards Earth. As it washed over the planet, the Quantum Seeker's cloaking shields failed. "We're visible," Security Chief Kraz shouted. "The humans can see us." Below, chaos erupted. People pointed and screamed at the alien ship now hovering over their city. Cars screeched to a halt. Phones came out, recording the impossible sight. "Restore the cloaking shields," Stylna ordered. "I can't," Vex cried. The solar flare damaged the system. On Earth, military jets scrambled. They circled the Quantum Seeker, pilots staring in disbelief at the otherworldly craft. "They're scanning us," Kraz reported. "And they're trying to communicate." A crackling voice came over the ship's speakers. "Unknown vessel, this is the United Earth Defense Force. Identify yourself and state your intentions." Zilna's mind raced. This wasn't how first contact was supposed to happen. But there was no going back now. "Open a channel," she said, her voice steady despite her fear. Vex nodded, and Zilna spoke. "People of Earth, I am Captain Zilna of the Zorthian science vessel Quantum Seeker. We come in peace." The human response was immediate and varied. Some reacted with fear, fleeing the area in panic. Others stood in awe, reaching out as if to touch the alien ship. Military forces surrounded the area, weapons trained on the Quantum Seeker. "We need to land," Axilna decided. "Show them we mean no harm." Slowly, carefully, the Quantum Seeker descended. It touched down in a city park, flattening trees and startling a flock of birds. A crowd gathered, held back by a ring of nervous soldiers. The ship's main hatch opened with a hiss. Captain Axilna emerged, flanked by Vex and Kraz. The humans gasped at the sight of the alien beings, insectoid creatures with 4 arms, shimmering exoskeletons, and compound eyes. A human in a military uniform stepped forward, hand on his weapon. "I'm General Adams. Why are you here?" Axilna raised her upper arms in a gesture of peace. "We are scientists, explorers. We came to study your world." "How long have you been watching us?" Adams demanded. "Several of your weeks," Stylnet admitted. "We meant no harm. We were fascinated by your species." The crowd murmured. Some looked angry, others curious. A child broke free from her mother's grasp, running towards the aliens before being scooped up by a soldier. Vex stepped forward, his eyes shining with excitement. "Your species is extraordinary. Your DNA holds secrets beyond imagination." This caught everyone's attention. General Adams frowned. "What do you mean, our DNA?" Stylna shot Vex a warning look, but it was too late. The scientist's enthusiasm got the better of him. "You were engineered," Vex blurted out. "Your genetic code contains advanced sequences, dormant abilities. You're far more than you realize." A hush fell over the crowd. Then chaos erupted. People shouted questions, demands for answers. The soldiers tightened their grips on their weapons. "Enough," General Adams shouted. He turned to Stylna, his face a mask of suspicion and confusion. "You will come with us. Your ship and crew will remain here under guard. We have much to discuss." As Stylna was led away, she looked back at her ship, then at the sea of human faces. Some were frightened, others angry, but many looked curious, even excited. First contact had not gone as planned. But as Avilna watched a group of human scientists approach her ship with wonder in their eyes, she realized that perhaps, just perhaps, this could be the beginning of something extraordinary. The truth about humanity's origins was out. Now, the real adventure would begin. The United Nations headquarters in New York buzzed with activity. World leaders, scientists, and military officials from every corner of the globe had gathered for an unprecedented meeting. At the center of it all stood Captain Silena, her alien form drawing curious stares from everyone in the room. General Adams cleared his throat, silencing the murmurs. "Ladies and gentlemen, we're here to discuss the findings presented by our visitors." He nodded towards Silena. "Captain, if you would." Silena stepped forward, her antennae twitching nervously. She activated a holographic display, filling the room with a 3D model of human DNA. "People of Earth," she began, her translator converting her clicks and chirps into English, "what we've discovered about your species is nothing short of extraordinary." The hologram zoomed in on specific sections of DNA, highlighting them in bright colors. "These sequences," Tilnut explained, "are unlike anything we've seen in any other species. They contain the potential for abilities far beyond your current capabilities." A ripple of excitement ran through the crowd. Dr. Emma Chen, a renowned geneticist, spoke up. "What kind of abilities are we talking about?" Zilna's compound eyes gleamed. "Enhanced regeneration, extreme longevity, increased cognitive functions. Some sequences even suggest the potential for psychic abilities." The room erupted in a mix of gasps, excited chatter, and skeptical mutters. "That's impossible," scoffed Dr. Yuri Volkov, a Russian biologist. "Such abilities defy the laws of nature." "Perhaps your understanding of those laws is incomplete," Dielna replied gently. "But there's more. These advanced sequences, they're not the result of natural evolution." A heavy silence fell over the room. President Sarah Martinez of the United States leaned forward. "What are you saying?" Zilna's voice was solemn. "Your species was engineered. Somewhere in your distant past, an incredibly advanced civilization altered your genetic code, giving you the potential to become something more." Chaos erupted. Leaders shouted questions, scientists argued loudly, and military officials conferred in urgent whispers. "Silence!" General Adams roared, restoring order. "Captain Silena, are you certain about this?" The alien nodded. "We've run countless tests. The evidence is irrefutable." Dr. Chen stood up, her face pale. "If this is true, it changes everything we thought we knew about human history, about our place in the universe." "Who did this to us?" demanded the Chinese premier. "And why?" Silna's antennae drooped. "We don't know. The civilization capable of this level of genetic engineering is far beyond even our own. We've found no trace of them in our explorations of the galaxy." President Martinez rubbed her temples. "So, what does this mean for humanity now? Are we in danger?" "Not from us," Silna assured them. "We came as explorers and scientists." "But," she hesitated. "But what?" General Adams pressed. "But there are others out there," Silna admitted. "Species that might view your potential as a threat. If word of this spreads through the galaxy, Earth could become a target." The room fell silent as the implications sank in. Humanity wasn't just learning it wasn't alone in the universe. It was learning it might be at the center of a cosmic mystery. Dr. Chen spoke up again, her voice filled with a mix of fear and excitement. "We need to study this further. If these abilities are dormant in our DNA, is there a way to activate them?" Zilna nodded. "It's possible, but the consequences of awakening such power are unknown. It could be dangerous." President Martinez stood, her face resolute. "We need time to process this, to decide as a species how to move forward. Captain Silena, will you and your crew assist our scientists in studying these findings?" The alien captain bowed slightly. "It would be our honor." As the meeting adjourned, the world leaders filed out, their minds reeling. Outside, news of the revelation was spreading like wildfire. Social media exploded with theories and reactions. Religious leaders called for calm and reflection. Scientists around the world began poring over the data shared by the Zorthians. Humanity stood on the brink of a new era. The truth of their origins had been revealed, and with it, the potential for an extraordinary future. But as night fell on a world forever changed, one question lingered in every mind. What would humanity become when it finally awakened? 3 months had passed since the world learned the truth about human DNA. The initial shock had given way to a frenzy of scientific research and global debate. Humanity teetered on the edge of a new era, unsure whether to embrace their hidden potential or fear it. In a high-tech laboratory in Tokyo, Dr. Hana Tanaka worked tirelessly alongside Zorthian scientist Vex. Their goal: to unlock the secrets of human DNA. "Look at this," Dr. Tanaka exclaimed, pointing at a holographic display. "The gene sequences are shifting." Vex's tentacles waved excitedly. "It's happening faster than we predicted." The knowledge of their potential is acting as a catalyst. Across the globe, reports began to pour in. A firefighter in Brazil lifted a collapsed building to save trapped children. A schoolgirl in Kenya suddenly spoke 12 languages fluently. An elderly man in Canada recovered from terminal cancer overnight. The world watched in awe as more and more humans began to manifest extraordinary abilities. In New York, Sarah Chen, a young artist, woke up to find her bedroom filled with floating objects. As she gasped in surprise, everything crashed to the floor. "Mom," she called out, her voice shaking. "Something's wrong with me." Her mother rushed in, eyes widening at the mess. "Oh, Sarah," she whispered, "it's happening to you too." Meanwhile, in a small town in Russia, Alexei Volkov, a quiet librarian, discovered he could read people's thoughts. The constant flood of information overwhelmed him, driving him to isolate himself in his home. The global reaction was mixed. Some celebrated these new abilities as the next step in human evolution. Others feared them, calling for those with powers to be registered or contained. Governments scrambled to adapt. The United Nations hastily convened a special session to address the rapidly changing situation. "We must embrace this gift," declared the representative from India, his eyes glowing with an inner light. "It's our destiny." "Gift?" scoffed the French delegate. "It's chaos. We need control, regulations." As the debate raged, more and more humans awakened to their abilities. Hospitals were flooded with people experiencing strange symptoms. Schools struggled to cope with students whose intellects suddenly surpassed their teachers. In the midst of this upheaval, a group of awakened humans gathered in secret. Led by Dr. Emma Chen, they sought to understand and control their new powers. "We have a responsibility," Dr. Chen told the group, her hands glowing with soft blue light. "We must learn to use these abilities for the good of all humanity." But not everyone shared her noble intentions. In the shadows, others saw the potential for power and dominance. Victor Cross, a billionaire industrialist, watched the news with growing excitement. His own awakened ability to influence minds had already expanded his empire. "The world is changing," he mused to his assistant, "and we shall rule it." The Zorthians observed these developments with a mix of wonder and concern. Captain Silna met with world leaders, offering guidance and warnings. "Your species stands at a crossroads," she told them, her alien features solemn. "These abilities can bring great advancement, but also great destruction. Choose your path wisely." As night fell on a world in transformation, humanity faced its greatest challenge. Would they use their newfound powers to build a better future, or would they succumb to chaos and conflict? In a small apartment in London, Jack Harrison stared at his reflection, watching his eyes shift from brown to a brilliant gold. He had just discovered he could see through walls, and the weight of this new reality settled on his shoulders. "What am I becoming?" he whispered to his mirror image. "What are we all becoming?" The answer to that question would shape the fate of not just Earth, but the entire galaxy. For as humanity awakened, the eyes of the cosmos turned towards this small blue planet, watching and waiting to see what this engineered species would do with their extraordinary potential. The awakening had begun, and nothing would ever be the same again. The news spread through the galaxy like wildfire. Humanity, a species once thought primitive, had awakened to extraordinary abilities. The Zorthian report on Earth's genetic potential sent shockwaves through alien civilizations far and wide. On the bustling space station Nexus 9, representatives from 100 alien races gathered for an emergency meeting of the Galactic Council. Ambassador Zixella of the Zorthians stood before the assembly, her antennae quivering with nervous energy. "Esteemed colleagues," she began, "the situation on Earth has evolved rapidly. Humans are manifesting abilities beyond our initial projections." The chamber erupted in a cacophony of alien voices and translated speech. "This is unprecedented," bellowed Grok, the rock-like representative of the Stoneheart Collective. "A species engineered to such a degree, it disrupts the balance of power." Sylphan, the ethereal delegate from the luminous nebula, floated forward. "We must study them. The secrets in their DNA could advance medical science for all races." "Study them," scoffed Drath Vor, the reptilian leader of the Crimson Claw Empire. "We should contain them. Quarantine the entire planet before they become a threat." As the debate raged, holographic displays showed scenes from Earth, humans using telekinesis to build structures in days instead of months, others healing the sick with a touch, some even demonstrating the ability to manipulate energy fields, creating shields and weapons from pure thought. Ambassador Zixella raised her 4 arms for silence. "The humans are still learning to control these abilities. They pose no immediate threat to galactic stability." "No threat." Drath Vor's scales bristled. "Look at their history. They're violent, unpredictable. Give them a few decades with these powers, and they'll be conquering star systems." The Arcosian Hive Queen buzzed in agreement. "The Crimson Claw is right. We should act now, while they're still confined to their solar system." "You speak of genocide." Sylphan's light pulsed with indignation. "We cannot condemn an entire species out of fear." As the council argued, a small group of aliens watched from the shadows. They were the Guardians, a secret society dedicated to preserving galactic balance. "This is the moment we've waited for," whispered Elder Xon, his ancient eyes gleaming. "The return of the progenitor's children." His companion, a young guardian named Lyra, looked confused. "The humans, they're the ones spoken of in the prophecy." Xon nodded solemnly. "Engineered by the progenitors, hidden away until they were ready. Now they awaken, and the galaxy trembles." Back in the council chamber, tensions were reaching a boiling point. "I propose a vote." Drath Vor roared. "Either we contain the humans now, or we prepare for war." Ambassador Zixela's voice cut through the chaos. "Wait, there's something you must know." The room fell silent, all eyes turning to the Zorthian. "Our scientists have discovered something in the human genetic code, a message hidden in the very DNA that gives them their powers." Gasps and murmurs filled the chamber. "What does it say?" Sylphan asked, floating closer. Zixela's voice trembled. "It says, protect them. They are the key." Silence fell over the Galactic Council. The implications were staggering. "The progenitors," Grok rumbled. "The ones who seeded life throughout the galaxy. They created the humans." "It appears so," Zixela confirmed. "And they left instructions to protect them." The mood in the chamber shifted. Fear and hostility gave way to awe and curiosity. "We cannot ignore this," Sylphan declared. "If the progenitors themselves tasked us with protecting humanity, we must comply." Even Drath Vor seemed subdued. "Perhaps we acted hastily, but we must still be cautious." As the council debated their next move, the news was already spreading. Across the galaxy, civilizations grappled with the revelation that humanity might be more than they appeared. They might be the key to unlocking the greatest mysteries of the universe. On Earth, blissfully unaware of the galactic politics surrounding them, humans continued to explore their new abilities. They stood on the brink of a new age, unaware that their awakening had set in motion events that would reshape the very fabric of galactic society. The stage was set for humanity's grand entrance onto the cosmic stage. But would they be ready for the challenges that awaited them among the stars? The sky above Earth crackled with energy as thousands of alien ships appeared in orbit. The Crimson Claw Empire, ignoring the Galactic Council's decision, had launched a surprise attack on humanity. Panic swept across the planet, but humanity was not defenseless. In New York, Sarah Chen raised her hands, her eyes glowing with power. A shimmering energy shield enveloped the city, deflecting the first wave of alien weapons fire. "Hold the line," she shouted to other awakened humans around her. "We can do this." Across the globe, similar scenes played out. Humans with newfound abilities rallied to defend their world. In London, Jack Harrison used his enhanced vision to guide fighter pilots through the chaos of aerial combat. Bank left. He called into his communicator, "Enemy ship at your 3 o'clock." The skies lit up with explosions as human and alien craft clashed. On the ground, Dr. Emma Chen led a team of healers, their hands glowing as they tended to the injured. "Stay calm," she urged her patients. "Your bodies can heal faster now. Focus on that strength within you." Meanwhile, in Washington, D.C., world leaders gathered with Captain Xylena of the Zorthians. "We've contacted the Galactic Council," Xylena reported, her antennae twitching nervously. "They're sending aid, but it will take time to arrive." President Martinez nodded grimly. "Then we stand alone for now, but we will not fall." Suddenly, the doors burst open. Victor Cross strode in, his eyes blazing with an inner fire. "Not alone, Madam President. I've persuaded some of the alien ships to fight for us." The president's eyes narrowed. "Persuaded?" Cross smiled, tapping his temple. "My gift. Mind control. I've turned a third of the enemy fleet against itself." Outside, the tide of battle began to turn. Human psychics disrupted alien communications. Telekinetics hurled debris at enemy ships. Those with super speed evacuated endangered areas in minutes. In orbit, the Zorthian ship Quantum Seeker joined the fray, its advanced weapons cutting through Crimson Claw vessels. "Humanity fights with a ferocity I've never seen," Captain Xylena marveled, watching the battle unfold on her view screen. On the Crimson Claw command ship, Drath Vor raged at his subordinates. "How is this possible? They were supposed to be primitive." A junior officer trembled as he reported, "Sir, we're detecting energy signatures unlike anything in our databases. The humans are evolving as they fight." Drath Vor's scales paled. Retreat, full retreat. But it was too late. A combined force of human psychics, led by Alexei Volkov, launched a massive mental assault on the Crimson Claw fleet. Alien crew members fell unconscious or turned on each other in confusion. As the enemy ships began to flee, a new fleet appeared. The Galactic Council's peacekeeping force had arrived, led by the Guardians. Elder Xan's voice boomed across all frequencies. "This attack on humanity ends now. By order of the Galactic Council, and in the name of the progenitors, we demand an immediate cessation of hostilities." The remaining Crimson Claw ships surrendered, their leaders teleported away to face galactic justice. As the dust settled, humanity looked to the stars with new eyes. They had faced their first extraterrestrial threat and emerged victorious. In the aftermath, Earth's leaders met with the Galactic Council representatives. President Martinez stood tall, her voice firm. "We thank you for your aid, but let me be clear. Earth is under our protection. We are ready to join the galactic community, but as equals, not as subjects." Elder Xan nodded respectfully. "Of course, humanity has proven itself today. The progenitors chose wisely when they crafted your potential." As the meeting concluded, Dr. Emma Chen approached Captain Xylena. "What happens now?" she asked. The Zorthian's compound eyes gleamed. "Now, Dr. Chen, the real adventure begins. The galaxy awaits, and humanity has much to learn, and much to teach." On streets around the world, humans looked up at the alien ships now peacefully orbiting their planet. Fear gave way to wonder and excitement. They had discovered their true potential, defended their world, and taken their place among the stars. Humanity's awakening was complete, and the universe would never be the same again.